And we are live. Welcome, everyone. And by the way, a special welcome to the our language colleagues and customers as well.
Hola, ¿qué do?
I put this one onto the language playlist because I want to do a little call out around Language Weaver Pro. And for those customers of ours and prospects who are in the translation business, we are on the content management side of the business. So that is to say, we use our translation products every day. We send things off to translation. Nice thing about having a content management system is that you'll actually manage where that content goes and gets distributed. There are websites around the world which are powered not only by the RWS language products, but also by the content products. And there's a good chance that you've used one of those websites today. Want to call out Language Weaver Pro for the machine translation aspect, because we've noticed that Language Weaver Pro is really ushering in a new age of machine translation. Now, most of our customers also want to have translators doing a post-edit verification, which makes a lot of sense. But I think it's a question of scale now. Like, translators are going to be able to really do a whole lot more with Language Weaver Pro. So just a quick shout out to, that part of the content supply chain, which is a big part of that is translation.
AI assisted translation as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and so welcome, Deepo. I think you've got some insights for us as well.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of things. I'm actually in line with the translation. RWS just signed an agreement to acquire Accolade. Who's Accolade's one of the major language and content services provider with strong presence in Europe, where it's got loads of languages. I'm not expecting in America, but it's a great partnership. It's basically we're bringing in more power, more expertise. We've got the products, they've got the services, and it's a brilliant combination. I think where for Tridion customers, it's that potential combination of content technology, language expertise, enterprise AI, and they bring in even more experience from regulated industries, public sector. It's an excellent collaboration, I think. So welcome to that. There's still things to go on, but it was just make that announcement. We'll give you more details when we get that. But then, why have I got this behind me? Well, the Tridion Agentic platform has entered customer preview. Woohoo! It's that's an exciting milestone for us. We've been talking about Tridion, and we've been talking about Tridion AI, and everyone's been asking, what are we doing? What are we doing for AI? And so rather than just slapping something onto a product and calling it AI, we thought really deeply about it. We talked to our customers. What is it you want to do? And what is happening out there is actually, because AI is everywhere, the world is changing faster. So things that would take weeks to get a new regulation and done, these are being pumped out by the minute. Product teams are able to write code so fast that the product spec changes every 2 days or something like that. And for docs teams or content teams, having to update that, having to go and look for that and try and translate that, it all takes time. And in the traditional model, you would maybe have a sprint every couple of weeks and then work for. This is going too fast for that. And so one of the things that I thought would be able to do that our customers ask for us is to why don't we have an AI monitoring what's changing out there? Either standards buddies or things like that, or monitoring the product specs database, the Jira, the Confluence, whatever. And as soon as something changes, the AI, one, tells us about it, but two, it goes further than that. Because it's connected to the Tridion platform, it's actually going to take a look at all the topics in there and say, well, look, there's an impact on that one. There's a potential impact on that one, and present that as a dashboard. And then even further, because it's AI, it's actually going to maybe help you start drafting some of that. And like that's why I've got
Right.
something, there's a new sign out there. How do you react to it faster? How do you keep your teams moving dynamically, being able to react to external forces? And external forces are not just outside of the enterprise, they're outside of the department. How do we bridge these silos? And AI is allowing us to do that. And then the Tridion Agentic platform is two parts. There's a Tridion Connect, which is that connectivity part, bringing outside information in. But then there's also Tridion Agent, which is the part where it does the tasks. It does the actual draft for you. It, is able to summarize or whatever, all those little things. But then you've got even more complex workflows than that. And so we've got agents in there. Now, because no two enterprises are the same, even if they're in the same industry, they will have their own workflows. And so Tridion Agent includes Tridion Agent Builder, basically allowing you to build your own actual agents inside of this secure enclave. It's already connected to the Tridion platform. Everything is protected. It's using common standards. It's not proprietary code. It's using common MCP standard, but it's all been secured and all the gates have been locked. And so you've got very little risk of your AI escaping the sandbox. And we've heard stories about that recently, haven't we?
Oh,
So
we sure have.
yeah.
And I wanted to say, just on a practical note, so we are going to be getting Tridion Agent and Tridion Connect on our demo environments very shortly. So we're going to be able to show them to not only Tridion Docs customers, but also Tridion Sites customers. And it's funny because some of our customers, like in the airline industry, they not only have a single standard that they need to follow for, let's say, visa regulations, health regulations, cargo regulations, etc. But then depending on where the route is, it's actually different. So they've got multiple agencies that they need to comply with. And that is a perfect use case for Tridion Connect to ensure the content that you're creating is compliant with some standard that is out there. So very exciting times. We also have some stuff as well, just right on Tridion Docs, Tridion Docs update.
Tridion Docs update. Well, the MCP server is coming up on there. That's ready to be released. So if you are interested in adding Tridion Docs MCP onto yours, that's going to be available for a select few customers. With finalizing it, products are going to be released soon. There'll be more news coming out, but reach out to your customer success manager and you'll be able to find out whether or not you can get onto that Tridion Docs MCP server.
Yeah. And I've got to say, like, having worked with the MCP server on Tridion Sites, you'll be a kid in candy store. It is so much fun because you can just interact with the platform just by putting in natural language requests. Now, mind you, any MCP server is only as good as the underlying API. If when you're working with the MCP servers, you find that there's some use case where you wish that there was a function that could accomplish your task, do let us know, because we're going to be improving our API support and the surface area of our APIs in the coming releases. On that, I also wanted to make a quick mention, and this is sort of one of the plumbing part of the update. So in Tridion Sites, as you guys probably all know, there is an XSLT issue, and by the way, this affects other enterprise platforms as well. So we're going to have some fixes that are going to come out at the end of August. So there will be a little bit of patching that people will have to do just for the classic UI to make sure that the classic UI works. Doesn't affect the new experience space. However, if you're in a company with a small IT department, make sure that they're aware of this XSLT issue, because again, it spans many enterprise applications that are out there. We also have an update with Tridion Sites 10.1.4, and that's going to be coming out at the end of September. So that's also going to have all the XSLT fixes in there. The big difference with that is that we also are going to be supporting .NET 10 in that release. So if you're looking to update and you want .10 support, that is the release to target. So that's going to be end of September. And also in other news, and we're going to have to update the roadmap in the community. And so instead of the 10.5 release coming out in December, we're going to put out a larger release in the summer of 2027, and that's going to be Sites 11. So that's going to be the sort of big breakthrough release. And I know
you're turning it up to 11.
No, the problem is we need to explain that to the younger generation, like the origin of that.
Well, I had to Google it, to be honest.
Yeah, well, the younger generation surprises you sometimes.
Yeah.
The vinyl records and flip phones and things like that. So I'm like, oh, okay, this fits right in. Yeah, so and then I guess in other news, we're going to be going to the Aviation Festival in October. So if any of our customers are going to be there, let us know in advance so we can say hi and meet.
Make sure you come over and see us. It'll be a nice outing for the Sites team, wouldn't it? And meeting with many of our customers who are going to be there. But it's like always good to meet more people and more new to be customers, but also anyone within those who've not met us yet, come over. It's in Lisbon, and the World Aviation Festival, that'll be brilliant. A couple of other events that we're going to be at as well. The team are going to be at the RAPS Convergence in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's in September 15th to 17th of September. So make sure, if you see either of our team members over there, go over and say hello. And they'll be talking about Tridion One. So this is a farmer event, and it's our Tridion One solution that's going to be that they're going to be there to talk about. So if you fancy a demo, see what we're doing for labeling in pharma, those are the people to go and talk to. We'll be at the Frankfurter Buchmesse. And that's in Frankfurt. That's another October one. And that's our Fonto product that's going to be out there. You find actually that, many organizations actually are using Fonto without realizing they're using it. That's like the funny thing, if you've got this really easy to use XML editor that looks like, really simplified Word-like interface, Word Online or Google Docs Online, it's most likely going to be Fonto XML editor. But they'll be at the Frankfurter Buchmesse with our partner Site Fusion. And you go over and say hello to Martin and many more of our other colleagues who are going to be there. One thing we forgot to mention, actually, so we've got loads of events. Oh, must not forget to mention LavaCon before I just switch over to that last update I wanted to mention. LavaCon, what we've got its conference season is about to kick off again. And so, I've got to make a big special shout out to LavaCon, and make sure that, if you are attending, if you're going to be in North Carolina, make sure you reach out to us. We're trying to get together a few people, maybe go and grab a drink, have a bite to eat, but reach out to us, look out for our posts, share and so on. And then, towards in November, we've got the TC World Conference. But before that, in September, I'm going to be going over to Copenhagen for the Nordic Tech Conference. And that's another one that if you happen to be in that area, if you're in the Nordics, and quite a few of our Nordic friends, do attend that one, make sure you come over. And it's one of the smaller conferences, but really exciting. You get loads of real experts at that particular conference. Be great. I'll be presenting with a partner, Pentopics, with Carsten Schrempf. And you really have to see what we've got prepared. Carsten's a great guy, and we really get on. Real fire between us.
And you know what? As you're talking about the conferences and things that we're attending, it's important to note that at RWS we don't have a single content management product, we've got a single platform of products with specialized authoring tools. So if you're dealing with structured content, technical content, we've got an authoring environment for that. If you're dealing with web content, we've got a content authoring environment for that. Same thing if you've got like flexible content that you just want to have the Fonto solution for. We've got a product for that. Same thing for Propylon. If you've got, you know,
Got a
regular
Word plugin, you know, it's
Yeah.
a Word plugin sitting on a CCMS, you know, best of both
Totally.
worlds kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
So what's amazing about this is that we've got different ways for you to author content, but it all gets delivered through the same Tridion delivery platform, or also known as the DXD. So if you ever see us, you know, feel free to ask about some of the other content products that we have, because we know that every organization doesn't have one content problem. They've got at least a dozen different content problems.
And you can't force the same tool onto all departments, you
Right.
know, even down to like Microsoft Word, you know, you find like, you know, there's some departments that will like, you know, prefer to do their stuff inside of a PowerPoint instead of doing it in Word, you know, it's that same problem. Basically, you need to give the right tools to the right department. And that's what the Tridion platform offers, from S1000D, which is our Contenter product. It's not Tridion, it's a Contenter product, but it's still part of the family, the part of the RWS family of solutions, to you know, so S1000D, to Word, to Data, to XML. It's all there, and it's basically looking to see what is it I'm trying to solve for, and who is it that needs to use it. Come and talk to us. We've got a tool for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that last update I wanted to mention was like, you know, the Cohere. Cohere is one of our partners, and we've managed to do some real little magic with Tridion One and a Cohere model integration for translations. And they've managed to, you know, create that demo environment where we're using Cohere for early machine translation. Real great results that we're seeing on there as well. So, you know, it's something that you need to check out. Cohere is one of our the partners in terms of AI foundation models, and powers some of our tools. So, you know, it'd be great to like you reach out to the Tridion One team, and if you want to have a demo of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And those foundational models that Cohere provides are truly impressive. So I'm very happy that that we're in a partnership with them as well. We can bring the best of both worlds. All right. So any other updates? I guess we're at the 15-minute mark or so.
We're just about there. So there's a lot of movement across RWS, and especially for Tridion. And the Tridion side is like, you know, really kicking the ball out the park, you know. So from the, you know, from acquisition of Accolade, you know, Tridion agentic platform, look out for more news on that. We're about to like, you know, kick all of that off live on the customer preview. New developments for Tridion One, for Tridion Sites Roadmap that Greg just mentioned. You know, loads going on. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. And we've got a special guest coming on next month, aren't we? Haven't we?
Yeah. So we've got our senior VP for the whole content division who's going to be showing up, and I think also we're going to do an experiment and see if we can do a LinkedIn live simulcast. So you'll be able to stay here on YouTube, but I think we're also going to do it on LinkedIn at the same time if we can get the, you know, all the plugs to connect. But we'll see about that. All right. Very good. I think that's it for the updates.
That's it.
Thank you, everyone. We'll be tuning in next month. Join us for the September live stream, and we'll join then.
All right.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Bye, everyone.